Welcome to the Depot Devoid.
Depot Devoid.
Depot Devoid!
Depot Devoid.
Ha
Bitch. Ugh. Man, if I'm gonna actually have to start every episode of Depot Devoid with me saying something like "that bitch, that angry loud bitch, can she calm down?" I'm really gonna come across as a real big piece of shit to a lot of people.
You could name the robot voice and then just yell at that person, and it would create a mythological sort of history between you and this person who
Right,
no
so
one will know.
if I do that, though, I mean, we might have a problem like with all the Janices out there, or I mean, there's another possibility. There's this cat that I see in some stupid videos on Instagram called Merv. And I really like him, and he's a talking cat, and he tries to summon a demon that he calls Bagagwa.
I don't want this to be a talking cat podcast. I'm just gonna go ahead and say that right now. I don't even want to really talk about any talking animal movies, really, unless we're talking.
No. I'm not talking about like voiceovers anyway. I'm just talking about cats that make things that sound like speech coming out of their maws.
Yeah, okay.
Not that really matters. Whatever.
I feel like there's so many sources that people can turn to for their talking cat needs without including the Depot Devoid.
Janice it is.
Not that what we're here to talk about on the Depot Devoid is necessarily any better, Ted. We've got a talking cat. So, Ted Fagan of the Depot Devoid, your brother, Matt Fagan of the Depot Devoid, have foisted upon you a movie called Pandemonium, which, for those unfamiliar, which is, I imagine, most sensible people, is a broad comedy from 1982 with a sort of impressive cast of comic talent.
Not in the moment, but yes.
Yeah, it's, for example, like the principal cast of Pee-wee's Playhouse are in this movie.
Yeah.
It's got an interesting group of faces, some who were very familiar at the time, others who would be much more familiar later. And here's the thing. In 1982, I was 7 or 8, depending on the time. And I remember seeing trailers for this movie.
Hold on. Weird flex right here. I got an inchworm that I need to take out. Save.
Oh, you do indeed.
I'll be right
back. All right. Well, while Ted takes
the little guy.
Yeah, you know what? The inchworm doesn't belong in the house, and there's no reason that it should sacrifice itself for us.
All right, he's safe.
Okay, thank goodness. I remember seeing the trailers for Pandemonium in 1982 and really, really wanting to see the movie, but I did not. And I also remember that it was on TV, probably 2 or 3 years later, and I saw part of it on a television broadcast and was really disappointed by how unfunny I thought it was. And I've never seen the whole movie. This is my first time, and my initial observations are that, one, having now seen the trailer again for the first time since probably 1982, I do not remember at all what it was about that trailer that made me want to see this movie. I have no fucking idea. Also, having now seen the whole movie, I have no idea what part of it I saw during the TV broadcast. None of it felt sufficiently familiar to be anything other than stuff I remembered from the trailer. I I know I saw some of it on TV and thought it wasn't very funny. And then never saw it again. And somehow here I don't remember exactly how it happened in the research process, but here's why I brought this to your attention. The last time we recorded, we talked about the movie Saturday the 14th. And this movie went into production as Thursday the 12th. And this movie is ostensibly also a horror spoof. It is way broader than that, but in its initial intent, it was a spoof of horror movies. And here's the thing. This movie went into production as Thursday the 12th before Saturday the 14th went into production.
That's what I was really hoping you weren't going to just tell me.
That is exactly
disappointed enough.
That is exactly what I'm going to tell you. Saturday the 14th is a Roger Corman movie, and Roger Corman basically is his company was a machine, and they put Saturday the 14th into production and got it into theaters before this movie wrapped, and so it ended up being changed, and it went out as Pandemonium. And I don't know if it changed its content very much or if that all happened in pre-production, but it definitely feels like the horror aspect, which still does form a framework of this whole movie. I mean, the main story really is a cheerleader murder story. It still somehow feels kind of sublimated. And there's so much non-horror related comedy that it doesn't feel as much like a horror comedy as Saturday the 14th at all. Although I would argue it's maybe more successful as a comedy, but probably for largely nostalgic reasons, I find Saturday the 14th more satisfying. I mean, it's objectively a shit movie, but I like it more.
The part of me that is very obsessive and gets very fixated on finite details is really upset that you told me what you said a minute ago that I didn't want you to say, which is that it was actually supposed to be Thursday the 12th before Saturday the 14th actually. Now I want to go back and watch this movie again, which is the thing that is furthest from my mind after finishing it. Never want to see it again. Now I feel the strong compulsion to go back and watch it and pay full attention to see if when newspaper clips come out, it's like Thursday the 12th, Thursday the 12th. I don't know. I wasn't looking for that.
There is.
They say, hey, it's Thursday the 12th.
There is at least one noticeable one of those, like, tear off one a day calendars on the wall I believe in Cooper's office, in Tommy Smothers' office. But no one ever makes a big deal out of it being Thursday the 12th. And that's why I'm wondering how much the content might have changed during production, because if it actually went into production using the title Thursday the 12th, you imagine that that's in the movie more than it is in the final version. So I suspect that a lot of stuff kind of changed along the way. And also, I mean, you're working with a certain group of comic talent who might have been prone to improvisation. And so there's probably a lot of goofing around that developed bits on set that ended up making it into the movie, which might not otherwise have happened if they had kind of stuck to a more focused horror spoof rather than what we actually got. It does, but like I said, the I watched it a second time in order to take some notes, and I I feel I was the second time through I was surprised by how much it actually did follow that horror story setup, because it doesn't feel like it when you're watching it. You're watching a lot of little comedy bits, and it doesn't really feel like that much of a horror spoof. Uh, Technically, I guess it is. It does. But yeah, it's a dead cheerleader movie with a lot of broad comedy and some not honestly not even that timely horror observation. I mean, they make kind of a big deal about Carol Kane's character being essentially Carrie in this movie, but at this point, Carrie has already been out for almost a decade as a movie, not even as a novel. Like the movie came out like 8 years before this, so it's not particularly timely in its spoofiness. Again, like also during the final showdown, you hear the Jaws theme playing as the killer is getting closer. That's even older. So yeah, kind of a broad, like not really making any jokes that might leave anybody out. only things everyone will get.
I laughed out loud at one point in this movie, and I'd tell you when it was, but I don't remember because this movie is really that uninteresting. It's so self-aware of what it's trying to do that it sucks so bad.
It's not even like like Airplane, where they sort of throw everything at the wall and every single thing is a joke, and some of it is funny enough that it all feels like it's funny.
Well, it's all spaghetti falling off the wall and that, but they didn't even quite hit this.
This is sort of that style, but it's no, yeah, a lot of stuff falls really flat, and a lot of stuff like I can't quite tell what they're even going for. And then there's some stuff that feels like maybe if it was the 80s and I was an adult, this would be a reference I would get. But it ends up being a really strange experience, because there's a lot of faces that I like to see. Again, Pee-wee's Playhouse. We got Paul Reubens, we got Phil Hartman, we got John Paragon, who played Zombie, and we got Lynn Marie Stewart, who played Miss Yvonne. All of these people are playing like featured roles in this movie.
Somehow we've got Judge Reinhold in this mix.
Impossibly blonde Judge Reinhold. Yeah, that was surreal.
There were other people that were in it that I'm like, I'm sure that they weren't credited in this, but I know that I recognized other people who at some point became famous.
There are a lot of familiar people in this. I wouldn't quite say star-studded horror comedy, but it was
star-studded.
It's studded, I guess. There's a bunch of people in it. But yeah, it's the story of there's a big football game in 1963. American fullback Tab Hunter as Blue Grange is the guy who wins the game for us, and then right after that happens, a serial killer murders all of the cheerleaders by throwing a single javelin at them while they are walking in a line. And
superpower, Matt. I'm impressed.
It becomes a famous event known as the Shish Kebab murders, and as such, the cheerleading academy. No, it's not a cheerleading academy. The whole cheerleading system is shut down. It's kind of vague because they make it sound like there's a cheerleading school, but it's not a cheerleading school. It's a university with cheerleaders who cheer at the football game. But then apparently after this happens, they stop having cheerleaders, and then in the intervening years, people try to have cheerleading camps, and every time that happens, they get murdered too. But now, surely, nearly 20 years later, Ted, it won't happen again. That would be
No, especially because the person who's been doing them the entire time has been in prison the entire time.
Obviously, I'm sure that's true.
Yeah.
There's no chance that they've got the wrong person behind bars.
No.
Yeah,
I mean, he did get them the one time. Or the 5 in 1.
it's
You know.
there are
2 birds with one stone isn't nearly enough when you can kill 5 cheerleaders with 1 javelin.
and they're holding oversized make-believe vegetables when it happens to make it look
It's
more
great.
like it's just kebab, because there was a Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Because there was a halftime tribute to vegetables that involved oversized vegetable props. There are a lot of really dumb jokes in this movie. I this movie does not have a director that people will recognize, probably, unless they've seen the movie Alice, Sweet Alice.
Whoa, this movie had a director?
Apparently. It had a couple of writers. Again, probably not anyone you'd recognize. One of them is named Richard Whitley, who is a TV writer who wrote things like an episode of Roseanne and an episode of Pound Puppies. Also, it had another writer named Jamie Barton Klein. I looked this person up. He wrote a reasonably well-regarded TV movie called Treasure Island: The Adventure Begins. And then he's one of 15 credited writers on a movie called Annabelle's Wish, which is less than an hour long. I'm not sure how you cram 15 writers into a movie that's less than an hour long. I've never seen it, but based on the box, it appears to be an animated film about a cow who makes a wish to be one of Santa's reindeer. And these are the people who made this movie.
I think that you're missing out on an obvious thing right here with the 15 writers for an hour of cartoon. Did you ever see the movie 4 Rooms?
I did a long time ago, yes.
Yeah, so 15 writers, 1 hour of cartoon.
I mean, I haven't seen
we
the
all
movie,
get how many minutes?
So I'm not
it's like 4 Rooms, but it's 4 minutes.
I didn't get the impression that it was an anthology movie, but it could be. I'm just trying to tell you that we've got a lot of heavy-hitting talent attached to 1982's Pandemonium. Here's the quality of the jokes. The name of the town in which the movie takes place is It Had to Be, Indiana. So that the university where it takes place can be called It Had to Be You, which is literally ripping off like a Bullwinkle joke. So this is not super highbrow comedy, is what I'm saying. It had to be you.
It could have been just as good as ripping off the Count Duckula and Up She Rises.
Count Duckula, that's been a minute.
Yeah, it's great.
I tried to watch Danger Mouse a couple of years ago.
That's not as great.
It was super racist.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow. I was not prepared for how racist that was. And this movie has a couple of moments.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Lynn Marie Stewart, Miss Yvonne from Pee-wee's Playhouse, has not altogether unracist role as a stewardess for Tokyo Airlines. I'm not going to be dropping a clip into this for that, I don't think. Just rather not. That same sequence also has Godzilla as the stewardess, which I kind of enjoy. Could have done without the other part. There is really no reason for this movie to persist in popular culture. I can kind of see why it has been largely forgotten. I don't really want to get into all that much of it. I've found this to be an intriguing curiosity because of its co-production with Saturday the 14th, and just as an excuse to finally actually sit down and watch this movie, which as a child I was very determined to see. It does not satisfy 40 years worth of craving.
No, this movie, I tried to watch it a couple of times before I actually finally completed watching it. And I was going to take notes, but it's so incredibly interesting that while watching the movie, I was laying on a couch swing type deal, outdoor couch swing. And Erica was laying on top of me and fell asleep, and I wasn't able to reach over to my notepad or my phone to take any notes. And so I'm like, nope, yep, I'm just going to passively watch this shit.
Yeah, probably isn't.
I'm going to let her sleep. I'm not going to try and reach over and like take notes. This is trash.
Yeah.
This is exactly what it is. What is this movie actually about, Matt? Garbage.
I did take notes, and now I honestly don't feel myself like really compelled to to talk about it that much. There's an interesting cast for those who are from a certain time. We got Carol Kane. Her mom is played by an uncredited Eileen Brennan. We've already mentioned the very young and impossibly blonde Judge Reinhold. You got Tommy Smothers as a Canadian Mountie and Pee Wee Herman as his partner. We've got, I mean, generally like some cool folks, a lot of recognizable faces in supporting roles.
Yeah.
You got Jimmy Olsen from the Superman movies is one of the male cheerleaders in this. Basically, it's just a series of dumb gags while we go through the motions of reopening the camp one more time, and a killer shows up again and starts picking them off one by one. It creates confusion by having an escaped prisoner and an escaped lunatic from a local asylum at the same time. I'll have to say I did enjoy that the escaped murderer is a man who he murdered his family with a power drill and then turned them into a set of shelves. And there's this whole trope of,
that was what I wanted to take a note about.
yes, this guy creating just basically, so we have like there's a visit to the morgue and they pull out one of his victims and it's a coffee table on a slab. It's kind of funny. There's some occasional good gags.
Somebody was talking about that to one of the investigators, I believe, and they said something like, "Oh yes, I have one of his pieces in my living room."
Yes, exactly. There's some fun stuff. The cheerleader group goes out to party and they go to a restaurant called the House of Bad Pies, which is a place that people apparently go just to receive verbal abuse and terrible food. It's kind of out of place in this movie, but it's
because that's a hipster thing to do now.
Yeah, but there are inspired moments of this in 1982. I enjoyed that sequence for the most part. There's some occasional good stuff, not enough to recommend the movie.
No.
But here's really the only other thing that I thought that was worth talking about, which is it's more about it's not in the movie, it's about the movie, it's of the movie. Okay, so at the end when the killer is revealed, it's Tab Hunter, the fullback. He is in a cheerleader outfit. Um, and his whole deal is that inside him, there's always been this cheerleader yelling to get out. And if he can't be a cheerleader, then no one can. And they've all previously even did a shower scene for one of the murders. It's a clear tribute to Psycho. So here's what I found that was interesting. Besides the fact that this is way too late for them to be doing a Psycho reference as the actual climax to their movie. This reference to Psycho is starring Tab Hunter, who is himself a closeted gay actor and a former lover of Anthony Perkins, who played Norman Bates. It's actually like Anthony Perkins was maybe his first significant romantic relationship. They got together literally like the mid 50s, and it was really only for professional reasons on Anthony Perkins' side that they split up. And I think it was kind of heartbreaking for him. And he is now also paying this sort of tribute to him. And this is at a time when, I mean, Anthony Perkins is still alive when this is happening. So I just thought that was very interesting when I was watching that there's like kind of layers to this climax because of the actor involved, and like what might have been going through his mind. Did it even mean anything to him at the time, or was it just sort of a fun twist, or did it kind of, like, I don't know, did it bring anything up for Tab Hunter? I just thought that was kind of interesting.
That's a lot more detail than I knew about any of this. That's fun. That's interesting.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, if it weren't for those details, like, that ending would feel a lot more problematic. But because it was Tab Hunter, his ex-boyfriend, doing the Psycho tribute, I don't know, it just brought a little extra something to the table of an otherwise pretty forgettable movie.
Yeah.
It is, I mean, it has some funny jokes, but it doesn't like you're not going to be like, oh, I'm adding this to the rotation. I didn't hate watching it. It was not bad enough for me to resent watching it again, to take some notes and see if there was anything that I wanted to talk about, which I guess, you know what, there really wasn't. Do you think there was this one bit after Mandy, the cheerleader, Mandy? It's hard to keep them apart because all their names rhyme. Mandy, Andy, Sandy, Candy, and Glenn.
Well, it's not as bad as this. I'm Daryl. This is my brother Daryl. My other brother Daryl.
But Mandy broke her ankle or foot or something. And then it seemed like Judge Reinhold, who is, they seem to be kind of an item. He seemed to jizz in his pants while he was twisting her foot around and causing her pain. And I wasn't really sure what I was supposed to get out of that scene. But he was very clearly harming her on purpose. And it seemed like he just came in his pants. And is that a thing? Is that a thing that people do?
Shaking their pom-poms with their shapely legs and doing the splits and
Ow! Ow! Ow!
I have to go now.
But you know what, Matt? Everybody's got their jam.
I think that Judge Reinhold's jam is currently soaking through his tracksuit.
Nice call. Nice call. I think you're right.
Yeah, so normally I might ask you uh why this movie is not as good as RoboCop, but really it's for all reasons. There are yeah, it's just terrible. It's not, you know what? It's not terrible. It's not interesting enough to be terrible. If it was terrible, I would probably watch it a third time. It's
I
it's blah. Meh.
If middle schoolers had made this movie, I would be disappointed in the middle schoolers. The fact that this movie happened and a good grip of the people in it actually became movie stars to a degree
Yeah.
is impressive. But this is like worse than watching middle school shit.
It's a lot of really bad gags, but it's not inspired. Yeah,
Did it have a theatrical release?
it did. Like that's what I
Nice.
was like that's what I remember watching the trailers for was when it came out in the theaters. And uh I'm surprised that it came out in the theaters. There's
Yeah.
it's but well and it's also weird that like there are there are these moments which feel like they could have come out of a better and more interesting movie, and I'm not sure how they got here or why they're in this movie, and why, if they were capable of writing things like The House of Bad Pies, why didn't they just make the whole movie better?
Right? No, I mean it was a great disappointment.
Yeah, I mean, I stand by my reaction from childhood when I saw part of this on TV, even though I don't remember what part I watched. I was correct in being disappointed by how not funny this movie turned out to be.
Yeah, and it does make sense to tie it directly to, as it should be, Saturday the 14th.
Which is, I think a better movie. They Saturday the 14th has a lower rating on, I think, most platforms, but
Well, that speaks volumes to humans out there.
they're
Hi,
they're
humans.
they're they're both full of pretty dumb jokes, but certainly as a horror spoof, Saturday the 14th, I think is more successful and certainly more on fucking track. Like
And there's a lot more owls.
it a lot more owls, and it pays attention to what it is. And
Yeah.
and the jokes, while as bad as any joke in Pandemonium, the jokes are about horror movies and horror tropes. And they stay on topic, and it's that Pandemonium seems to try to fit in anything it possibly can, some of which is funny, but I feel like it makes it less memorable.
And you continued that on long enough that I still think that I can say for the whole statement, that's what she said.
I will have to rewind and check that.
Oh, you probably should and replay that clip because it works.
So would you recommend this movie, Ted?
Hell no.
I feel like we are going to need to follow this up with either a much better or much worse movie. Because this one is not really doing it. I'm not sorry. I'm not sorry I made you watch it.
No,
But
we needed to.
it definitely does not um succeed uh in conveying the ideas that Saturday the 14th does as a horror comedy. And it's weird because this does have a lot of jokes. And when I watched it the second time and kind of like tried to pay attention and like give this movie, my full effort, uh it has a lot of jokes. It keeps them coming. But somehow they all just they land very softly.
Yeah, it's not satisfying as a meal, and it's not an amuse-bouche that makes you think you're going to get to a next better dish.
No, it's more like the phone is dead, and they show the payphone on the wall with like a kitchen knife stabbed in. You know what I mean? It's like
Yeah, that pissed me off.
it's just a lot of that sort of thing. It's not weird enough to be memorable and not insightful in the least.
No, no, it's trying to play to the lowest common denominator, but I don't think that they clocked what the lowest common denominator is interested in. I think they went above and below all.
I'll say that I have never had anyone say that they like this movie and we should watch it. And I've watched a lot of movies with a lot of people, and nobody has ever brought this up.
Yeah, no, I'm saying you got a bell curve and you set aside the 2% on either side. And I'm sure that 2% on either side might be like, but that's only 4% of the population. So we're fucked. This movie sucks.
Yeah, I mean, I think even those people aren't. I mean, they might enjoy it, but they're not going to be like, "I gotta get me this on laser disc."
No, they're going to chuckle and then go eat some ice cream and go to bed.
Yeah,
Whatever
even
the other 4% do. I'm not either one of them. I'm not the bottom or the top. I'm just somewhere in the 96%.
even my second time through, when I was, quote unquote, paying attention, uh, it was still hard not to check out before the end. You know what I mean? Like there's a showdown. There's Tab Hunter. I'm like having my thoughts about Psycho. I'm like, oh, this movie's still happening. Apparently, like she lures him out onto the football field and uses her carry powers to chase him around with a big statue, and then
You could have done all the time.
yeah, and then crushes him, and then that should be the end. But then after she crushes him, then Tommy Smothers rides in to save the day. Once it's already over, and then they lip sync songs to each other because that's how we expressed love in the 80s, was through lip syncing. And then the movie is over. And you've already forgotten how it ended.
Yep.
I feel like it's safe to say I'm not really going to watch this again.
Yeah. As much as that very strong part of me wants to watch it again to find out if I can find a bunch of Thursday the 12th references anywhere in anything, I don't think I can bring myself to do that. I've got so many better things to do with my time. Time is a finite resource.
Yeah.
And I waste a great deal of it doing a lot of inane bullshit already. I think I can't waste, what is it, 128 more minutes again? 132? It's not a lot.
No, I think that's way longer than this movie. That's over 2 hours, Ted. This movie is not that long. It just feels like it.
All right. Hold up.
I'm sure this movie is like 85 minutes.
Oh, wow, you overestimated even more than me, you dumb bastard.
It's actually 4 hours and 16 minutes long.
It's 82 minutes long. Exactly what you need to have a theatrical release back in 1982.
I'm sure it is
Exactly the number.
comparable in running time to Saturday the 14th, I would expect.
Probably.
Yeah, this movie, it's honestly, unless you are a big fan of some of the people in curious little roles, this movie is not really worth checking out. I I don't know what it was about it that I found so compelling when I was 8. I don't know. I guess it could be that 8-year-old Matt did not have awesome taste. Not like I do now.
Did Saturday the 14th actually have a theatrical release?
I believe so, yeah.
Then that would explain the opening sequence of it, which must not be considered in the running time of the film, which is only 76 minutes long.
Yeah, it's a tight 76. That's why Pandemonium feels so bloated, Ted.
It's huge comparatively.
Those extra 6 minutes, just like it's all padding.
Just like the shoulder pads.
This movie is not really chock full of shoulder pads. I mean, it's no Working Girl.
Hey, there's football players.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, it has shoulder pads on Tab Hunter. Yeah, this also I found it I thought it was interesting. Tab Hunter's mom in this movie is played by Edie McClurg, who is significantly younger than Tab Hunter.
I mean, he's like 400 years old in this movie.
I mean,
from start to finish.
Maybe not quite that old, but yeah, he's older than most of the cast. Not added together, just each of them.
I mean, I suppose technically I'm probably older than he was during the filming of that movie now, but you know, it's hard to say.
Maybe. No, actually, I don't think so. I think he was probably I think he was born in the 30s.
Well, now I'm just opening tabs.
About Tab?
Yep. Tab Hunter.
I've really the Tab Hunter movies that I know have Divine in them. So I don't know his more famous stuff.
Okay. Supposing this movie was filmed then, he was 51.
Okay, yeah, that feels about right.
All right.
Yeah.
Well,
so
you know what?
He's my age.
I was assuming that he wasn't really that old and just had a bad life.
Yeah, no, well, because he got together with Anthony Perkins in the mid-50s, so I figured like they're probably at least age of consent by the mid-50s. So,
well, when you put it like that, I get it.
One hopes, anyway.
Well, you know what? At least I can look at somebody and say, wow, that guy looks old and I'm doing better for myself than them.
At least I'm no Tab Hunter.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, my Tab Hunter to me is like he co-starred with Divine in Polyester and then again in Lust in the Dust. And I like him in both of those. But that's really kind of what I know him from.
Gotcha.
But yeah, I like Tab Hunter. I wish him well. I mean, he's dead now, but I wish him well in hell, where he's burning for being gay
for 7 years.
I'll see him later.
Well, Matt,
I'll give him a high five on the way in.
Wait. Are you trying to say hell's real?
Ted, we watched Hellraiser. What do you think that was about?
No, we watched like Hellraiser 1 million.
we watched Hellraiser 2.0,
Yeah,
which is different from Hellraiser 2.
yeah, and I didn't see a lot of burning.
No, there's actually not really a lot of, I mean, to the extent that we see hell in the main Hellraiser movies, we don't see a ton of burning. There's a little bit, but that's not really what it's about. Since we're talking about this for no reason, I am going to mention the thing that I showed you earlier, which is we just recently posted our episode about the 2022 Hellraiser. And when the 2022 Hellraiser came out, I at the time was working on some paintings that involved the theme of those pink frosted circus animal cookies. And so it was a natural reaction to circumstance that I would make a paper mache mask that looked like Pinhead, except that it also looked like those circus animal cookies with pins that had those brightly colored sugar balls at the ends of them. Anyway, posted that episode recently, and I used that as an excuse to post a little clip of that mask with the cookie theme, and I tagged Jamie Clayton in the post, the actress who plays the Hell Priest in the Hellraiser remake. What I specifically did, I posted the mask and I said I'm no at Ms. Jamie Clayton, but if they ever make a Hellraiser movie about Cookie Puss or the Keebler elves, I'm your guy. And Jamie Clayton liked the post and said love it on the mask because she loved the mask. She wouldn't lead me on like that. It was kind of exciting. It's a very silly little thing, but I was very excited, and I saw that she had liked the post and said love, and I gasped in what I imagine was a very camp fashion, like ah! and then I had to explain to Bill who Jamie Clayton was and show him pictures of her both in and out of the Hell Priest costume. And then he was happy for me.
It's rad.
But yes, that was very cool. I had a very tiny little interaction with the Hell Priest from Hellraiser, and she liked my Hellraiser mask, and it was very cool.
It was very cool, Matt, and I was excited when I saw that you shared that with me.
It was cooler than everything that happened in the movie Pandemonium.
Oh, 100%. Pandemonium couldn't even hold a candle towards it.
So that is all I have to say about that movie. I suggest that we not do it again and find something different for next time.
Absolutely. And let's end on a happy note of something that's not reality.
I can only think of reality now.
The dragons are untrue.
That's good.
No, fuck. Dragons is real.
Really? Wait, I just looked out my window and I didn't see one.
I mean, they're elusive.
What? How do we know they're real?
Pseudoscience.
This isn't filling me with hope, Ted.
Come
on. Fill me with wonder.
Have you had toasted baguette with burrata cheese and strawberries and balsamic vinaigrette?
No.
Well, now you have something to look forward to. And by vinaigrette, I meant vinegar.
I was hoping that you did, but I
definitely didn't mean salad dressing because that's dumb as fuck.
I'm just going to use chicken bacon ranch. That'll work just as good, right?
Welcome back to 1989 to 1994, and let's kill ourselves as we replace that bad cheddar with some Swiss cheese, and it gets even worse.
I think we should just rebrand the podcast Chicken Bacon Ranch.
So you're just leaving the cheese out entirely?
I mean,
Lord.
you're right. I shouldn't have done that. I'll just go.
All right. Well, this is
just
podcast about how much we hate chicken bacon cheddar ranch, and also Pandemonium sucked.
This is just limping to a conclusion even worse than Pandemonium.
Yeah.
I think we probably both deserve to be punished for this.
We shall be shish kebabbed.
Now we're going to have to watch Puppet Master 2.
Oh, you son of a bitch.
Oh, God, we're the worst. All right.
Tell me for real later if that's what I actually have to watch.
We'll all find out together. I love you, Ted.
Love you too, Matt.
Hopefully we will recover from this.
Everything will be better than this.
Yeah, I mean it's unlikely that the next thing that happens will be worse, or at least like worse in a less entertaining way. I don't know. I mean, anything could happen, I guess. We could somehow end up watching one of those Gallagher movies. So I don't know what's going to happen.
Wait, Gallagher 1 or Gallagher 2?
Do you have a preference?
I didn't know this was a thing. I'm just saying words.
You're like, I'm a Gallagher 2 man myself. I mean, I like to sit there with my new Coke and watch my Gallagher 2. Big old bowl of chicken bacon ranch.
Oh, God, I love chugging that.
Oh, man. Okay, this has to stop.
Yeah. I should have stopped a while ago, just like Pandemonium.
Yes. We've made a lot of horrible mistakes tonight, and
we keep milking it, but the milk that we're getting is not good milk.
Is it as good as the milk that Bambi gets drowned in the movie Pandemonium?
At least it had some cookies, and I am all out of cookies.
It did have some cookies.
That being said, that was one of my least favorite parts of this movie. I guess if we're talking still, I'm going to say it. Bathing in milk is bad enough, but dipping your cookies in your bath milk that you're bathing in.
Yeah.
Okay. You should be drowned in that.
That whole thing was weird. Yeah. I don't have any excuse for that. And what a wonderful place to stop.
Yep. Matt,
the milk has run dry.
Drown in a milk bath while dipping your cookies in it.
I'm trying to imagine a situation in which that could occur, and I'm just not seeing it.
I think that you must not have been properly indoctrinated into the system here, because the answer is, and I too hope you do not get drowned in your bath milk cookie dips.
Ted, may your enemies' dicks be bitten off.
And may yours also.
Good evening.
I
will see you next time. I love you too. And don't ever watch this movie again.
Never.
The depot devoid is that place your mind goes when you've lost your train of thought, but you haven't found a new one. The Depot Devoid podcast is hosted by Matt Fagan and Ted Fagan. Depot Devoid is not hosted by Ian Fagan because he died and we miss him. Find our full video episodes at Depot Devoid Podcast on YouTube. On social media, you can find us at Depot Devoid Podcast on Blue Sky, and for now, still on Facebook and Instagram. Or you can email us at depotdevoidpodcast@gmail.com. And of course, you can listen to the show on all of your favorite podcast platforms.